Hey, what's good, everybody? Check this out, y'all. For all my listeners out there, man, tonight, man, I got the opportunity, man, to bring you an absolutely special one, Jack. I got my man RELL, man, you know what I'm saying? Singer, R&B singer, songwriter, producer, and I'm sure he's got a whole lot of other things he's doing that he ain't told us about just yet, but he gonna let us know. For all my listeners out there, man, I want y'all to, man, I want to introduce, man, first R&B singer, R&B, you know what I'm saying? RELL to Def Jam. We got RELL in the building, baby. RELL, what's good, baby?
Man, it's y'all world. I'm happy to be in it. I'm here for it. What's happening? What's happening?
Yeah, what's
Peace
good?
to everybody out there. Yeah.
All right. So without further ado, go ahead and let everybody know, for those that don't know, where you're from.
I'm from Bowman, South Carolina, Orangeburg County. Yeah, I'm a country boy, born and raised. Yeah. That's my.
What was it like growing up in South Carolina?
It was blessed. It was blessed. Bowman was a small community but tight knit when I was growing up. A lot of family energy, community energy, just that village energy. You were always around people who cared about you, had their eyes on you to some degree. It was just one of those places. It was small, it was intimate, but we did everything with pride. We took everything to heart, like small town stuff.
So of course, my first question is how you get from South Carolina,
right?
From small town Bowman to big New York City, baby, to do the things that you was doing. Because we're going to swing back to you being a pre-med student, because that's a whole nother conversation in itself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But how did you get from South Carolina to New York City, man?
With the group, long story short, a group by the name of Finesse from Orangeburg. Orangeburg was like the city in Orangeburg County, and Bowman was like one of the smaller towns on the outside. So they were from Orangeburg, and I met them around my college years, and I took to them. I took to their talent level. I took to their knowledge of music, business, the industry. I took to the experiences that they had. They had seen New York City already, and while I was a pre-med student at South Carolina State, we all met. They met behind me singing at the freshman talent show and placing. I didn't win it, but had a good conversation with them. After that, we became brothers basically. So I was splitting my time between class and rehearsing with them. And so the first time I left home, long story short, was with Finesse. That's Jawan Adams, that's Demetrius Green, Brian Dantzler, Curtis Boyd, who a lot of you know famously is King Malachi now, and also Travis Wright, rest in peace. So I left home with those good brothers. They took me under their wing as a baby boy, and that's how everything pretty much took off.
So I want to kind of talk about this pre-med though, because it's like, I mean, that's super amazing, because like, what made you want to pivot into like between medicine and then into music, and did you kind of still incorporate that into your music career, like the pre-med as well into the music career?
Only the passion that I would have in pursuing music. That's probably the only difference. I mean, similarity between them. It's okay. Whatever I'm going to go at, I'm going to go hard at it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what it is. With and I got away from your question. Ask that question again.
It's like, okay, like how, like what made you want to pivot from medicine to music?
Right.
Yeah.
Question. Okay. The pivot. It came from the talent level.
Okay.
That Vanessa had. I mean, you're talking about. I would make it the fifth member, but they had a take six style of harmony. In that time, they like very polished. Harmonies, dissonant chords. Things that you wouldn't normally hear in traditional harmony or quartet harmony or gospel harmony, which contemporary R&B harmony. You didn't traditionally hear that, and that was different for me. It was a breath of fresh air in a way, because I've always wanted to be a student of jazz, but jazz is like it's tricky, until you're immersed in it. It's an eclectic ear that enjoys jazz, and So without knowing, you know, the essence of what jazz is, those notes and why they're there and what they mean, which that's where finesse came in. So the pivot came from knowing that I was, you know, changing my direction to something that was at least resonated with me as being equally as profound. That required an equal level of intelligence to pursue it. There required a passion, you know, for when things didn't go right, you know, because it's an it's not your traditional path. So orthodox is the word I'm looking for. So it's not traditional. So you know, you have to have a tenacity when, you know, you ask anybody who's an independent business person or business owner or entrepreneur, when it's on you, you know, your drive has to match your vision.
Right.
You know,
so which leads me to another question. Well, because you know, we from traditional Black families. You did. Right. And I know you was going through your thing, going to school, and family was proud of you and all that.
Yeah.
And then how was that conversation when you went home and said, hey, I'm not going to pre-med no more. I'm gonna go here to New York City and be an R&B singer. I want to hear that story. You know what I mean?
To be honest with you, looking back now, it wasn't as bad. You know, at the time, you know, of course, I was nervous because you know, I had one of those mothers that was just, look, you're gonna do this, you know.
Right.
You know, she's been that way all through life because she had to be, and we love her for it, you know.
Right.
And though my dad was also in the picture, you know, like dad was a little more laid back as a life coach, you know, like he knew what was coming up the way, and so his I guess his gauge as far as, you know, fears or worries that he had for his children, they're different from a mother's. You know, mom on top was like, absolutely not. No.
Queens are always, my grandma was the same way.
So, you know, after a little while, she you know, she decided to let me go. You know, there were certain elements in place. I never gave her any real trouble. You know, you know, she never had to, you know, come bail me out of jail. It was just, you know, I was a pretty smart student. You know, like when I applied myself, I was unstoppable. But, you know, honestly, I didn't always apply myself. So I would, you know, I was a B average guy, and sometimes for the sake of fitting in, I was okay with that. I teach a different lesson to kids now, but you know, for the sake of it was like, I mean, I know, yes, I could have gotten an A+ on this, but you know, B's not so bad. Like, so I was one of those kids. But
no question.
So I kept decent enough grades, and I kept her in this place where she couldn't really argue, you know, with me about it. You know, just like she's just gonna get in the mirror with herself, and she's like, the one thing she never wanted to do was put herself or me in a place, you know, years from now where either one of us was asking, you know, what if?
Right.
Yeah.
What if? Like these opportunities, like it's more based on timing than time. Whereas school and, you know, things of that nature, they're pretty structured. They're based on time. You just have to have the drive to do that as well if you decide to go back later. But yeah, she let me go, and it's history. You know, I promised her I wasn't coming back home until I made it. You know, I didn't promise her I was gonna stay out of trouble or anything. I was like, I ain't coming back here until something happens. You know, that was
Speaking on timing, that had to be incredible timing, man, for you to hit New York. And what was your first rap? I mean, the first film you was in, Streets Is Watching. I mean, man, how did that shake about? I mean, I'm sure there was some things that you had to do before that happened. You know what I mean? But you know, just give us a little takes, man, on how that all came about.
Like I said, I left home with the group, you know, and unbeknownst to a lot of people, when things didn't take off for us in a timely fashion, there were things still going on back home that, as you know, my mom's oldest, you know, at the time I'm thinking in my mind, you know, I need to go home and help address, because that's what I would do if I was there. So I went back to South Carolina, you know, while we were up north together. And in doing that, I'd say maybe 2 years, you know, going into 3 years went by before I was able to get back north. Okay. And you know, of course, things changed, the industry shift. The group was in a different situation, and so I had, you know, real honest questions that I had to ask myself and get in the mirror with RELL and say, okay, you know, how are we going to move from here? And because the only people that I ever knew was the people that I knew through the group.
Right,
so
right.
You know, I stayed with them, and I began to hone, you know, different styles, things that I touch based on with the group, harmony, you know, that transcended to now being in the studio environment. And so now I can, you know, build on harmony by way of touching equipment and learning this and learning studio dynamics. You know, I'm a church and choir vocalist, you know, from the South. So, you know, we know how to sing, but now you got to get in the studio and kind of figure out, you know, these dynamics.
Your voice, your bit.
That made, you know, artists like Luther Vandross great.
Right.
You know, right. Like he was a master dynamic. He could give you power and then, you know, minimize that power into a whisper all in one note. And so that, you know, those type of things are the things that I began to really study. And, you know, just trying to respect the craft for what it is and study a lot of great people before me and draw some inspiration. So Streets is Watching came about by way of Dame Dash. Dame Dash and my former management team were a big family and mutual, you know, just had mutual friends for a long time. So I was with a production company that Dame was familiar with, Top 10 Entertainment in the Bronx. He came by to see Darren Chandler, who's the CEO. He met me, heard a lot of my demos, and was like, I like your work ethic, you know, and, you know, just always gave me, you know, high marks for the work I was putting in. And as he moved closer to an opportunity to, you know, pursue music itself, then this conversation kind of shifted to, look, if anything happens for me, I'm coming back for you.
Okay.
One thing led to another. Then, you know, one night uptown over dinner, I believe it was grits and crab cakes or something like that. But we shook hands and made it happen. We weren't in the office space. There was no black. It was a handshake. It went like that. And man, I gotta say, everything was just an eye blink. It's just flashes. Because at the time we immersed in Jay's light. So his stuff happening faster than I can keep up because he's already in motion. Like what he's got going on, you know, at Roc-A-Fella is already in play. So when I signed, literally not even a week goes by, I'm at the Roxy with the Jay-Z party with Malik Sealy, God rest his soul. That was my first industry party. And I'm like, oh my God. Upstairs and down, like, oh, Jesus. You know what I mean? And I'm standing with those guys, even though I'm nobody and nobody in there knows me, but not. It's like I'm standing with these guys. It was an incredible moment. And then from there, we was on set for Streets is Watching. Wow. And apologies for the scenic route, but trust me, I fast forwarded the best that I could.
No, we want the scenic route because you know what I mean. Because for one, like, you know, a lot of people got to understand, like, you a cat coming out the South, so to be in New York City amongst the different culture from the South, now you in the city,
right? And
you around a different type of energy. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so for you to be able to adapt to that energy, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it starts
and not get ate up, because you know, back then, boy, you had to be of a certain type of fiber. You know what I mean?
what was the relationship like with like you and Dame? Like what how was that working with like Dame Dash and you know and ending up meeting, you know, Jay and different things like that, and maybe, you know, even meeting the old Kanye. You know, how was, you know, all of that?
It was a great time. It was a fun place to be. I mean, it was no different from any label that you could think of that's seen success from independence, you know, in their heyday. It was no different there. The same. It was an authentic environment, which, you know, I love. So yeah, pretty much everybody you was around, especially in the artists, they lived every word they speak. You know, and being around Dame, you know, the way he conducted business during that era, you know, was phenomenal. He didn't take no for an answer. You know, he wasn't always eloquent, but he always knew what it was that he wanted, and he wouldn't stop until he got it. And it wasn't always based on him, you know, steamrolling you or anyone. Sometimes it was based on him, you know, doubling back on his own and say, well, look, all right, I get it. We can't do it that way. So, you know, like, put me on. Maybe I'm missing something. Help me out with it. And so it's that element to him too. And then it was, you know, the other elements where he just bring in other people when he didn't know. Like, look, I you know, I did your profile. I know you're good at this. Can you help us with that? So, you know, like he would go around it if he had to. He didn't necessarily, you know, try and steamroller verbally, you know, just and you know, just be aggressive with his business. Sometimes he would go over you, sometimes he would go through you, but a lot of times he would go around you, or under you, you know, like in a sense, like, or just whatever way possible to get the yes that he was looking for. You know, he had that approach. So it was always fun being around a guy like that, because if you're trying to sharpen your business mind, you were learning a lot watching him conduct business. And so yeah, it was good to be around him in that way. A lot of what I am now as a CEO myself, it started there. It started with Darren Chandler. It started with Donald Blanks, you know, like the guys I met through Finesse. It started with them. They helped me with the terrain. They knew I had to drive. They knew I was a good kid, but you know, they helped me with the terrain. Where to go, who to be around, why, who not to be around, why. So, you know, each one teach one. They are the reason why, you know, they are the reason why I probably pretty much been free from scandal.
Hold up, Rel, because I ain't gonna let you get away with that now. Hold on now. I want to talk a little bit about that, because you have been free from scandal. You know what I'm saying? Not only have you been free from scandal, you kind of been baking in the background the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't really know, unless they're a real hip hop head. You know what I mean? Or really know. Cats don't really even know. Like, RELL's been there the whole time. Like, not only been there the whole time, you've been with some of the great and the legends of them. You know what I'm saying? And so
absolutely.
You know, like when, like, a lot of people don't know, you know, when you was doing the thing with Freeway, you know what I'm saying? Or you know what I mean? You was with that whole team. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Let's go a little further though. Let's go back to the origins of RELL. Okay. RELL Gaddis was making placements as a writer, as a vocalist. Joel Kipnis, David Passick Entertainment back at that time, was the first thing that I was featured on as a writer and a singer. He was a cool white guy and a guitarist. And so those are my first, you know, sessions where, by way of Top 10, you know, Darren Chandler and them, those were the first sessions where I was starting to see, you know, checks. Okay, now I'm seeing how I can actually live off this. See, I saw how you could live off this behind the scenes first.
Right.
Because I was a writer first.
Smart.
All about placements for others. And that was a good way to get in the mix. You know, my team taught me, so that was where I started.
Absolutely.
From Joel, the next thing that I got was somebody probably from your era. But my big bro, my big homie in music, in hip hop, and why I was always comfortable in hip hop, because that's where I got my start. You know, my deal for R&B came by way of hip hop, Roc-A-Fella. My first placement in hip hop came by way of Lord Finesse. A song called Lord Finesse is my big bro, and I'm honorary digging in the crates because of Lord Finesse. Like that's my OG set, digging in the crates. So salute the Finesse and Park Chester and the whole Digging in the Crates ensemble, Diamond D, all of them. You know, like, I've been saluting them from day one, because Lord Finesse led me to Fat Joe. We did Walk On By. Fat Joe introduced me to Pun. We wrote Sweaty together. Pun, like, it just, like, it went on and on from there. So that relationship was kind of solid, and hip hop was where I got my start. So Roc-A-Fella was a comfortable home, and doing features with, you know, rap artists, even when my music wasn't coming out, was always a comfort zone. Even though it was shunned upon,
Right.
we now in a time where, you know, your whole catalog speaks. Like it doesn't matter who you work with. The longer it runs, the better. And
Right.
to date, I have more features with any. I have more features as a vocalist, R&B artist, male vocalist, with more hip hop artists than any male vocalist you can name.
Yeah.
Any, you know,
Any. Like, you know what I mean? And I know that. Like, so that's why when, you know, with shout out to the Continental Kent, man. When Kent hit me, let me know what it was. I was like, yo, Kent, absolutely, baby. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that. Let's get that happening, man. So I got a question for you, right?
Yeah.
So some of us are chosen in life to do different things. You know what I'm saying? And some of us are put in a space, man, to be able to accomplish things or do things like nobody else has done before, man.
Right.
Are you absolutely comfortable with that? Because you've been in that space. Like it was almost like hip hop was like waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? And then you arrive, and then now you take it to another place to where nobody else has touched that place but RELL. You know what I'm saying? So explain that, you know, that feeling, man, on that mindset, on how you continue on you know, moving in that space.
Man, it's the creative process is what I love, you know, and I thank God for that. Like the mechanics are what drive me in music. It's not the fame, it's not the glory, it's not the accolade. It's like it's the therapy that I know people get when I do my job right. Like it's the creative process. That's what I love. That's what sustained me where a lot of other people will go crazy. You know, when things don't go right for them in business. Like it's the fact that I know where this gift came from. I never forgot where this gift came from. I use this gift to the best of my ability to really exalt where it came from. Because as long as, you know, people are getting therapy from what I put out, it doesn't matter what crowd I'm trying to reach. You know, it could be street, it could be street, but if there's therapy in what I'm doing, then all God is doing is smiling. I know that because I feel it. I feel it on the I say this to people all the time. I'm not closer to God than I am when I'm in that booth because I'm doing the one thing I love the most. I'm giving my very best to that thing, either for my sake, if I'm recording for myself, or for the sake of my clients, you know, worldwide, who I'm recording for. I'm so close to God there because I'm doing the one thing I know He purposed me to do. And I urge all my young G's, my young females, like center yourself in that thing you love the most, and then try to find the monopoly in it, because you'll find yourself waking up every day just happy, high on life, and happy to do your work, regardless of, you know, what type of day you have, whether you make a lot, whether you make a little, whether you make none. Like when you're doing what you love, every day is a profit. Every day is a profit.
Right. There's no substitute for that. Right. You know what I mean? Absolutely. You know. So.
And I know you learned a lot, even just you know, just listening and being, you know, in the industry and just listening to, you know, some of the pioneers and different things like that. A lot of people, they get into the game too and they don't listen, they don't take the, you know, the knowledge and the thought and the wisdom that is just being given to them, you know. How important do you think that is for people that's coming up like that, you know?
Well, I mean, in general, you know, it's important to never, you know, be closed-minded to what you can learn. You know, that's the minute you start to become obsolete. You know, you become like a TV that just, you know, it can't take any other form, design. It can't take on any other apps that might, you know, better it, better its functionality for you. You know, it's just that particular model. And, you know, you're either going to upgrade when you need to, or you're going to be stuck with what that model does. And it's the same thing with your mentality when it comes to, you know, evolving, waking up every day, leaving that space to learn. You know, I practice waking up every day, you know, going through my day, you know, based on what I planned yesterday and what might come in the moment. That day, at the end of that day, I try to reflect on that day. And before I lay down, I'm basically wringing out everything that I didn't need from that day, don't need from that day, and keeping everything that I can utilize later. And then, you know, popping that rag up, letting it dry, and getting ready for tomorrow to soak up. So it's a daily thing to want to wake up and chisel away, you know. Like we can always make ourselves smoother. We can always polish our surfaces. There's always room for improvement, you know, with our daily functionality. And that's with all of us. So it's never good to have a closed mind when it comes to that. You know, it's just going to shorten your ability to expand, you know, get your bag, keep your bag, you know, because it's all about maintenance. You know, getting what you have is one thing, keeping it is something completely different. And you got to keep an open mind if you want to, you know, maintain what you have. Like that's you're going to have to always keep yourself in a space where, unless you're comfortable, you know, with one income, you always got to keep yourself in a space where you stay open minded to, you know, all forms of income. It's just the times we live in now. So, but that's common information. I feel like actually these are, you know, more conversations we should have openly. Therefore, it's not taboo. You know what I mean? And you know, this shouldn't be, you know, just dinner, you know, table conversation. This should just be normal conversation that we have all day long, you know, right? Because it's, after all, for the betterment. It's enough room for everybody, enough money for everybody, and yeah, I just feel like that.
We got a comment from China Aries. She said very informative and inspiring.
Yeah. So
appreciate it.
You know. So I've been around the music industry for a long time, RELL, myself, you know, and you just talked about sometimes some people kind of saying things to you, and you take that and you use that. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, somebody may drop a jewel on you, and then that jewel is something that you kind of can take with you and move through your career and through life with, man. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So my question to you is, and I'm sure you've had many jewels dropped on you because you've been around many great ones.
Absolutely.
But is there one? Is there something that somebody said to you that you kind of took to heart and live with every day? You know what I mean? And it helps you wake up every day to do the things that you do, and also be the man that you are, man. Like you know, there's always somebody or something that somebody said to you. You know what I'm saying? And can you think about a quote or something that somebody has said to you, man, that helps you move into places that you are now?
I'm trying to think of the one that really stands out. It's been, you know, almost too many to remember. I'm trying to think of one that really, I don't think it's a lot that anybody said. Like I was just observing. It was a lot that, you know, I watched. If anybody was speaking, they were speaking in a common, you know, a common dialogue. So,
right,
you know, the guys I was around, they weren't too profound. You know, they was just smart, sharp. You know, like I said, my business management infrastructure at that time was all uptown, Bronx, Gun Hill Road.
Yeah.
So, if you know that mentality, then you already know. It's like, you know, about the money. They're not really, you know, they're not about being loud or flamboyant and none of that. They about that money, getting home, taking care of the family, handling business. Like they you know what I mean? They pretty much cut. Get your leather bomber, your New York fitted, might get some Timbs. That's all you get now. You know what I'm saying? Like they not so flashy. They know a lot of stuff. They don't speak to a lot of people, but you know they solid dudes. You know what I mean?
I'm from Brooklyn, so I get it all day, baby. It's a problem.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like years later, it's just a problem because we don't speak a lot, because you don't know who you're talking around and what kind of information that you might be giving up, because it could be the smallest things that you say.
Right.
See, a lot of people don't understand that. You know what I mean? And you can say something as small as, because I've done it, I've been around it. You can say something as small as, yo, I was over in Bed-Stuy last week, you know, and then the cat look at you, be like, you was in the Bed-Stuy with who? You know what I mean? And now it's you know what I mean? You was with them cat. You know what I mean? So now it turns into something complete. Look at that. And I know you know what I'm talking about because I can see the look on your face. You're like, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we absolutely,
right.
you know, it's and that's one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, man, real quick though, like the changes in the industry, the way it used to be, and now the way it is now. You know what I mean? Do you feel as if you can move the same way? Of course you can't, but there's always going to be some changes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But how do you feel, man, about the changes in the industry the way it is now? You know what I'm saying? That's a big question because so much has changed and so many things are different, but we still have to maintain a certain decorum in the way that we move to be able to move. You know what I'm saying? In that same space. So, what's your feelings about all that, bro?
Man. Long version short. My feelings on a bunch of this is just strictly self-institution wherever possible.
Right.
Self-incorporation wherever possible. Mergers wherever possible. Just cross-marketing and cross-promoting of independent entities of all sorts. You know, that's like there's never going to be a reinvention of this wheel. Okay. You're either going to create a wheel that you have that control of or play the game, so to speak. You know, play the game and hear me good, because either way is fine. You know, even if we start to become the Great Wall of China now, it's going to take generations. Okay. But if we just focus on ourselves and be one brick, then we're all part of the Great Wall of China at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely.
And so to answer your question, I like Kanye when he was not trying to be the Great Wall of China itself. I loved him. He was this brick sticking out on the Great Wall, this beautiful, like, oh, that's dope. Yeah, like that. I miss that Kanye, like a lot. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, but I'm not one of those people that laughs at the misfortune. If I'm seeing misfortune that I haven't experienced, then it's a lesson. You know, that's I take out a minute and give that person a moment of silence, because I don't want to be them. So I learn from what, you know, that current mistake is, so that it doesn't become a future mistake for me.
And it's just what you just said. Everything too in life that you go through is a lesson.
Right.
Learning experiences.
Lessons and blessings. That's all you get, you know. And for God's sake, you know, the other thing is that the light of God powers every human being. So that's the other reason why you shouldn't have a closed mind. You know, God showing up through everybody you speak to. God's in you. All right. The same light powers all of us. Sometimes what you're saying is what God needed me to hear that day.
Yeah.
Like, we all walk in little, you know, temples. We are like, all of us are Bethlehems. We are walking, living, breathing Bethlehem. We are the temple, the house of God. This is the house that he wants to put his light in. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, so we gotta treat each other like that. That's all.
No doubt. So RELL, what's the involvement today? You know what I mean? You know, we heard you speak on, you a CEO. I'm sure you got some projects on deck. I know you got a bunch of things. I know you're still performing. I mean, you know, what we doing? Tell us what we're doing, because you're sitting there a little quiet trying to keep it to yourself over there, Will. You know what I mean? But
I'm just, you know, I'm letting everything go at its pace. You know, I'm in my middle years now, so you know, I'm not in such a rush. I don't have the same gas on my chest. You know, you know, I pace myself. I'm not in cruise control yet because there's still a lot to do. So speaking of that, now that the industry's changed, the one thing that I learned is that you gotta, you know, carry your own cross, take up your own business, believe in your own product, you know, and you have to invest in your own vision off top. Like it's
Yes,
gonna have
sir.
to be you, you know, when you're independent. So yeah, I started my own label, Wolf Sounds Entertainment. And with Wolf Sounds came a lot of great opportunities. I was able to get a good distribution situation digitally with a good friend of mine, and that put me in position to now put out all of my music. The album, you know, has just been released. I'm not sure if you guys know. There was not, you know, major promotion behind it. That was more so for my following, you know, my base that's been there from, you know, the day from that era where it was created, and we're always waiting for that release. I wasn't in control of it, but once I got control of it, it was released immediately.
What is it again? What is it again? So everybody know.
It was called the Remedy album back then,
Okay. Okay.
but I released it as RELL presents the Remedy album. That's the whole, you know. So if you go to Spotify or any of the major platforms and you start typing in RELL presents, chances are you're going to see a lot of new releases, you know, of catalog from me over the last 2 months now. I'll say month to 2 months.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm doing that, and I'm thankful for this platform so that I can, you know, report it, is because I have a lot of new music coming, and I wanted to make sure that all of, you know, my catalog was housed somewhere before we start to launch this new music. We are definitely about to take up the Kelly Cross in adult R&B. Now that we're centered back in New York, it's an A market. It's quiet. I've been strategically putting myself in place to, you know, get the noise back that used to be from my era. And it seems fairly easy to do. We'll see, by the grace of God. But I'm also connected to the South by way of my little cousin, Malcolm Simmons, who's an artist in Southern Soul. I'm writing alongside him. He's writing as well. And so he's one of the new up and comers that's got a buzz and making some noise in the Southern Soul monopoly down that way. And I'm just proud that, you know, some form of light magnification is on the Southeast region. I've been saying for years that the talent is there, that I wasn't the only one. And so I'm glad even through Southern Soul that they get a chance to, you know, showcase themselves and you know, get a bag, and because, you know, they deserve it, you know, and I look forward to its growth. You know, I can't say off top where I see it going, you know, like I'm gonna wait, you know, for a later podcast. You know, we might get back together and I'll give my prediction then. But I love what I'm seeing from it, and I'm honored to be a part of it. And salute to the whole Southeast and 803 Fresh and the Boots on the Ground success, and the Mimi Greens, the Shelton Richardsons, the King Malachis, of course, again my little cousin Malcolm Simmons. It's a bunch of other names that I'm not naming. You know, my other cousin Crazy Obilla. You know, it's just a lot of respect for Orangeburg County right now in the Southeast, and you know what they're allowed to take advantage of. So it's a good thing to see. It's a good thing to witness. I'm honored to be a lot of them. You know, they're OG. You know, because a lot of these boys are family. You know, and a lot of their inspiration came from what I did all them years ago. So the flowers are well received. You know, but as far as the work that I'm doing, it's I'm releasing old content. Or just unreleased content. I'll say it that way, because
there you go. Because ain't nothing old. Because ain't heard, ain't old.
I'm gearing up for new content. We got a new single coming called "I Got You." Right now, I'm looking for a beautiful, you know, a beautiful black woman with, you know, can stay natural on camera. Very curvy. Yes, I'm giving away clues, but trust me, I'm not giving away the video at all. Like, I need her to have that vixen look, but I need her to be my Claire, and it's still a twist. So, you know, I'm putting that out in the universe. Yeah.
Right. I can probably get some.
I don't need her to twerk. I don't need her to, you know, I don't need her to do any of that. I need her to, you know, be, you know, the opposite of what she looked like she is. Like, you know, just I need you in front of the kitchen, you know, drying out a cup and putting it in the dish rack, babe. That's what I need. If I can get, you know, with your, you know, with your look, then we off and running, because this is gonna be beautiful. I Got You is gonna be beautiful. It's a beautiful record, and It's strictly a grown and sexy record. It's a grown folks record. It's a husband and wife record. It's a man and his woman, or it's a person and their person, record. And like, every type of preference out there is going to enjoy this one. We kept it universal, but we kept the message just very lovey. I'm not ashamed of that, because that's what's missing from the music. The the love is what gave it the soul. Putting the word love in your music gave your music soul. And, when you listen to a lot of this music where the word love is not in it now, you'll see that the soul is also missing. It's like it's hollow.
I miss the love music, and I miss the slow dancing. They don't slow dance no more. Like, what happened with that?
I'm so glad you touched on that. Like, I want you to kind of, you already just talked about it, but I wanted you to expand on that.
Man.
About what's missing. Because in my head, as you was talking, Rel, I was thinking to myself, you know what I mean? I was searching in my head, trying to figure out an R&B singer, man, that's actually putting it down. You know what I mean? That's actually putting down that love, something that where you can grab baby and hold her and rock with her, you know what I'm saying? And whisper in her ear, you know what I mean?
I don't get that no more.
The soul is missing. The finesse.
I'm telling my age and shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
I love the finesse that we hear now in a lot of our new age artists. I love the finesse. I do. Finesse is good. Like I love edge. I love swag. I love all of that.
Right.
But I need soul. Yeah. We all need soul.
Yes.
Like they're like, that's the essence of music. It's the therapy that you get from it. And that therapy is not momentary, not music. Like and let's get off of the singing aspect. Let's get back to the hip hop, because hip hop is that's my stomping ground. Like, I can speak on this. Okay.
You say it.
But
yeah, no, you absolutely can speak on it, man. You know what I'm saying? So
hip hop, my era, there was a combination of swag, edge, finesse, talent, fashion, but there was also the amendment, that freedom of speech to speak on what's going on around you, that was in the music from my time. Our artists were in congressional hearings. Our artists had to sit down with congressional panels because they were touching.
Right.
You understand? Like they were touching the subject, in their music. And so they got breaks pulled on them all the time from our era, because they were actually saying something. Soul, feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like like
had
now,
the natural beautiful black queens in the videos, and just it was so good.
Even as a crack fiend, I don't care, mama. You always was a black queen. And see, that's environment. That's that's community based. That's not just, he's not bragging there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's saying, despite what we have to deal with in society, you are everything to me. And these were the songs that were controversial. These were the songs that last. These are the songs that touch.
Right. Music that's addressing issues. You know what I'm saying? That people don't want to talk about because they're afraid to talk about it. You know what I mean? Right. But if we talk about it, you know what I mean, then we can make it better in some shape, form, or fashion. So and that is absolutely what's missing today in today's music.
Just that soul.
Yeah.
That feeling. But
and then
of course, I'm gonna leave that part alone. Yeah, just the soul. No,
you listen, man. You go ahead and say what you gotta say. You go ahead and say what you gotta say, man. Because look here, Rel. Hey, Rel. This is my platform. This is owned by. You know saying, sir? This is owned by me. All of it. You know what I'm saying? So I can say and I can have without being censored. You dig what I'm saying? So they can't censor me. They can't say, yo, Sam, you need to take that down. Yo, Sam, you can't say that. I'm like, son. Son. I pay for all this. This is all. We can do what we want around here, man. And that's what this is here for, man. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I can't even remember where we were right there.
with the slow jams, the slow music, the soul.
Well, yeah, the soul.
Just being able to address different issues and being centered in the business. You know what I'm saying? And
it's just I'll say this. What I foresee is just the recycling happening. The only difference, the CDs was missing now. That product in hand, that part of the distribution, portion of your success and your release collecting on
we
your
used to have the mom and pop stores and the different things that we could just go to, pop in that CD and be.
I talk to kids now,
and I was like, $10 off of one CD. You could have sold like $10 off of one CD.
But the thing was, like, and I explained to these kids now, once upon a time, like y'all from the Jordan era, before the pandemic hit, the line would be, down the street a little for that new delivery of those Jordans, and you had to hurry, before your size sold out. I was like, well, try to imagine that line being there for Tower Records, for Janet Jackson's new release. Try to imagine that. See, that's the era I'm from. The CD was, everything. That was the work. The product in hand was the work. Like the elaborate cover, the shout outs, people from your hood looking for their name. All these things meant something. The connection to Black Beat and all of these magazines, all of that meant something. The CD sale, the sale of the product, having it in hand, going to the store, they coming across the counter with it, you looking at it. Oh my God, you ready to, like, some cases you would buy two just so you don't take the wrapping off.
Right.
I literally used to have two CDs of different things.
Now it's just streams. Like, streams can be created out of algorithms. Like, it's not a product. It's just something that can be whisked out on an email. There's no way to track that. There's no way to break, really, and where they have the numbers. It's really it's very hard to make anything.
So we just had a conversation, like on the way up to the studio. We was just talking about that. Like
we was
about this fraction of a penny stuff. It's like, listen, you can either accept it or not, and that's the thing. It's like we have to not accept stuff. That's the only. It's not about going up against them in any way, other than to say, yeah, no thanks, and then going about your
and I totally understand that. Well, that's one of the reasons why we try to keep around media made music. You know what I mean? And media made music actually plays tracks where I actually tell a person, send me your MP3. You know what I'm saying? And where now I can post it, whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever time, like, we want to feature you, we might feature RELL with new tracks, bow, this day, on this day, wow. And then now people are listening, and then also we direct them to you where they can purchase it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like we banging it just because we want some numbers on the stream, whatever. No, we actually kind of put ourselves in a place to where the music and the culture can still move forward. You know what I'm saying? Like you just can't just take my music and make an algorithm, and now my shit is playing all over the place, and I'm getting for every 2,000 spins, I'm getting 2 cents. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. And then here's the thing with that too. Even out of that, like, how do you even know where your stuff is really getting played? Like, even if do you even have the email address to these contacts or to these people that are actually really streaming your stuff from Spotify and different things? You don't kind of really know that information. You don't have that. They're not going to really give that to you and say, hey, this person with this email address, that's a contact right there. If they actually are listening to your music, you know what I'm saying? So, like, how do you know? You don't.
You don't. And like the way that you could tie your album to, directly to, like she's saying, Billboard,
building your own community,
and your BDS, like these things, like the relationship with radio is so different in since streaming became a part of your branding and a part of your expansion and part of how you, like, there are a lot of people that's still trying to figure that part out. So to all of you who are still trying to figure that part out, here's the solution. Stick to your plan. Okay? Like whatever music, whatever team, like if you guys started with solid ideas together, okay, stick to that. Okay, everything can come left, right, come what may, but if none of that, you know, is in position to make you all agree on pivoting, then don't.
Right.
Don't. Because at the end of the day, if you do have a formula, it will work. Guys, Jay-Z said it. Even a broken clock is going to give you the right time twice a day. Everything has its moment. Okay. A homeless guy is going to find a steak because Mr. Wall Street just didn't have time to eat his lunch. He's going to find it. Okay. He's like every blue moon, he's going to get a bigger steak than you ever ate. It's going to be sitting right on top. It's going to be hot. It's going to be fresh. It won't be spoiled. And he's going to run to the nearest corner and down that. Like facts. So
and saying he always fooling people because saying for Media Made has its own app. We have our own community, you know what I'm saying? Our built-in community, our built-in app. So nothing really goes outside of Media Made. Everything is within the house. It's in-house.
Oh, nice. That's
so we have a big fan base where people know us to where it's a conglomerate. Like, okay, yeah, this is us. We got community rooms, you know, so it's all about building your own community, your fan base, and making sure that you get those contacts from the people that, you know, really are listening to your stuff, and, you know, keep them engaged too as well. Like you said,
and we share. Like I don't care about that. Like who bigger than this and who bigger. Hey man, listen, man. I can help you, so let's do this. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't.
Listen, let's break the crab mentality. All right.
Yes.
Young world. Each situation is a pie. Stop looking at one situation in your life like it's your whole pie. It's not. Each situation is a pie. Okay? You can have a section of one pie. You can only have a slice of one pie. But when you wake up and let the creative juices flow, and you're after every opportunity that you can get, you're going to find that there are pies everywhere. And at the end of the day, once you get good with recognizing that, you're going to start walking out of a room full of opportunity in business with a slice of each pie making up your whole pie. You got cheesecake on there, sweet potato pie, you got apple Dutch, you got peach cobbler, you got all these different slices because you understand that there are pies everywhere. There's no such thing. Somebody's going to stop your slice. No one can stop your slice but you. Okay? So stop looking at those guys across the street like they're going to stop your food. They're not. All right? Guys across the street, stop looking at them like they're going to stop your food. They're not. Y'all stronger together.
Split yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like ladies, yes, same thing. Ladies, same thing. Like same thing. Like they're each one of you is a walking pie.
Yeah.
That you know what I'm saying? Like it's better that you're mixing these slices up with as many people as you can network with, as opposed to not. You know, that's counterproductive. You got to move past that.
Yeah,
no doubt. Hey, RELL, baby, yo, it was beautiful. It's always beautiful, man. Anything you want to send over here, Media Made, send it. MP3 or whatever, we're banging on our station. You know what I mean? Like we'll have a whole goddamn RELL special for this particular day or night or whatever.
Hey, I'm about to be very busy. I intend to. Like I said, I'm mentoring a lot of artists, the Southeast, the North, and so you know we're gonna be putting out a lot of music. And
just stay locked in, man, and we'll absolutely make it go over here, baby. Because I don't got a problem with that at all.
I appreciate it. Meantime, we on deck for you too. Whatever you need, stand on us. We got you.
Okay. But before we go, I got a question I need to ask you because this is a little difficult. It's a little difficult question for me to ask you.
Talk to me.
Only because you've done so much and you perform with so many. You know what I'm saying? Like this is kind of hard, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Goddamn! If you had an opportunity to perform with an artist, dead or alive, past or present, who would that artist be?
And why?
And why?
Jesus. I don't think there is a one.
Okay.
I don't think that's impossible for it to be a one. I mean, if you name an artist, I can tell you something about them that inspired me.
Okay.
So that's gonna be very, very, very hard. I love Michael Jackson for certain reasons. I love Luther Vandross for certain other reasons.
Yep.
I love D'Angelo and Horace Brown for certain other reasons. I love Domino and Nate Dogg and Max B for certain other reasons. I love Tank for certain other reasons. Chris Brown for certain other reasons. Like,
I knew this was a difficult question, baby. That's
like,
why I just said I don't even know.
See, that's the media again.
He like, ain't put me on.
Like, you know what I'm saying? With my little shorty from Boondocks Pose, like, that's that media again. Like, they the ones that keep saying, you know, it's got to be this or that.
Right.
No. Why?
Right.
Why
it
gotta
don't
be this?
have to be right. And that's why I give the choice. You know what I mean? Because I know everybody. You know, everybody has a different mindset in their head about what they may do and what means most to them about, you know what I mean, what was touched. It's just such a vast question. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I just want to thank you.
And there's a world of people that disagree, even though nobody else in the world could do what they did. Disagree with that statement. They got the right to, because music is not something that you can consolidate like that. It's not. You know, like we're being taught to consolidate things that are not supposed to be consolidated. Like those things are supposed to remain open and not supposed to be squared off. You know? Yeah. So it's just certain things I don't go for, and you're gonna get, you know, that kind of answer from me. It's like I don't accept that option. I'm not that person. You know what I mean? Like I'm the other kind. I'm you know what I mean? I got Bronx in my background, Brooklyn, Brownsville. I got all of that in my background. Family in Harlem, family in Buffalo, Rochester, like Queens. I'm different with all of that. It's not all R&B with me. It never was. You know what I mean?
You're definitely different. Like your career says how different you are. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, once again, it was beautiful, man, that you came out.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, Queen.
But before you go, man, I need you to shout out and plug everything and everybody that's helped you get to a place you are today. I know that's hard. I know you can't do that, but I also want you to also give us all of your social media information. So if anybody needs to get to you, man, they can tap in.
All right, let's go down the list as fast as we can. I'm gonna try and keep it within 60 seconds. Back to Buffalo. All right, shout out to my White family, my Sweat family, my Pelzer family. Rochester, shout out to the same. Down the Yonkers, salute to my wife, Orlando. Salute to Warburton Avenue, my family, my young G's up the hill. Rough Riders, D Block, Kiss, you know what I'm saying? P, Chic, salute. My man Ski Beats, salute to you, you know what I'm saying? The whole YO Connect, salute to all of y'all, all my family out there. Jones, Squares, all of y'all. Much success, much love to my brothers up there. We moved down to the Bronx again. It's Gun Hill. It's Fordham Road. It's 188 Bathgate. It's salute to DITC down to Harlem. Jim, thank you. Bird Gang, my family. Salute to Davies. Thank you too, bro. I look forward to what we about to enjoy on this upcoming album.
Yeah.
So down to Manhattan, my former roommates, Mr. Spice. Thank you, brothers, for holding me down when things were tough at Roc-A-Fella. You know, there's my roommates, there's my brothers, 35th and 8th, Hell's Kitchen, home forever. Salute to Brooklyn, Myrtle Avenue, Marcy. Salute to Fort Greene Projects, man. Y'all ain't made it hard for me when I came up in there asking for a little, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all worked with me that day, you know what I'm saying? These were different times back then. You couldn't just go up in there doing that. You was risking it. Thank you, Fort Greene. Salute the Hall of Fades, Tory, Jay, the whole, all the barbers up in there, all the action we used to have going on back in the day. Love y'all. Denky Bangham, EK, my producers, from Love for Free on, you know, to the present day. I love y'all G's. On the Queens, my cousin Q Morocco, Long Island, my homie Jay York, King James with the beats out there, Long Island, out the Jersey.
Hey, keep going, baby.
And look, if he forgot about y'all, don't charge it to this heart, okay? Because it's a lot of people. You know, it's a lot of people.
Out the Jersey, Jawan Adams. Salute to you, bro. Salute to my man Jimmy Cozier. That's a homeboy. Spice, I love you again. Salute to Chase Hill. my Atlantic City family, the whole set out there. Love y'all, brothers. Stay strong with it. My Latin brothers, Johnny and Chris Vega. You know, salute to y'all legacy. I look forward to that movie coming out on y'all pops. He was a legendary horse rider, you know, back in the day, like he was a jockey. So look forward to all of these things that I'm connected to going on. My man Verbal Kent, Perth Amboy, my second home stomping ground from South Carolina. We shot love for free there. Club 18, Washington Mechanic, High Street, Smith Street, all y'all my folks over there, my Dominicans, my Puerto Rican brothers, love y'all to death. Down the way, Bank Dog in Virginia, DJ Skills in North Carolina, Orangeburg, South Carolina, my home, my beloved South Carolina, the whole state. I love y'all. To this day, I'm Big Bro. Holla if you need me. I'm on deck. And now to is this Made Media?
Media Made, baby.
Media Made.
Yeah.
Media Made. Media Made. Thank you so much for the opportunity for me to speak to people. Like, we touched on a lot of subjects here today, but you know, hopefully this won't be the last time that we get together. Like I said, I got a lot of incredible stuff coming, and albums coming, and R&G compilations coming. I got Bleak on that with me. It's gonna be, you know, some heavy hitters on that. That's big compilation. With me. So looking forward to that. And I want to say to stay tuned. RELL, official RELL music is basically me. If you Google official RELL music, anything on me is going to come up. RELLmusic.com will be on platform soon. But until then, we have RELL Gaddis on Facebook. We have official RELL music business page on Facebook. We have official RELL music on Instagram, official RELL music on YouTube, and
that's the thing. Keep it the same. Keep your name the same.
Right. If at all possible, yes.
Gotta be.
So everything's official RELL. The label is Wolf Sounds, WOOFSOUNDZ. So you'll start to see that in the future. The logo will start to appear as I release new content. But I want to thank y'all so much for this, man. Thank God for you. And salute to your whole base. Salute to your whole base. Everybody that's tuning in right now, everybody that's just a part of y'all following. Thank you all so much. Tune in. Let's link up, vibe with me. I promise it's going to be a fun ride.
Absolutely.
Let's make some things happen.
No question. And for all my listeners out there, man, if you need to hear this again, you can always check us out on YouTube, Media Made TV. You can check us out on MediaMadeMusic.com. You can check us out at MediaMadeMagazine.com. Whatever you need, Media Made everything, goddammit. So, you know what I'm saying? Yo, if you want to tap in, man, just tap in, baby. We get the RELL or whatever. You know what I mean? We make it go over here, Media Made, baby. Hey, RELL, I appreciate you, man. Once again, my brother, and let me just say this to you before you go. You dig? May you be blessed in all the things that you do every day, man, and may you prosper in each and everything that you do, each and every day that you do it, my brother. All right?
To both of you. Same to you both. All right? Success.
No doubt, baby.
Okay.
Peace.
All right. Peace.